The displacement x centimeters of the end of a spring at time t seconds is given by x equals 3e to the power of minus 2t sine 20 pi t. Find the velocity of the end of the spring after 2 seconds. It's important to note that when we hear velocity in a maths paper, we want to think differentiate. And if we were to hear accelerate or acceleration, we would think second derivative, or we would think to differentiate the velocity. Okay, so x equals 3e to the power of minus 2t sine 20 pi t. Now notice that these two terms are stuck together, and anything stuck together in maths means multiply. So if we want to differentiate, we must use the product rule, which is u dv dx plus v du dx, where u is the first term, 3e to the power minus 2t, and v is the second term, 20 sine 20 pi t. So v, the velocity, is going to be dx dt, the derivative of x with respect to t. So we just write down u, which is 3e to the power of minus 2t with brackets. Then we differentiate v, so v being sine 20 pi t. So we have to use the chain rule for that. So the derivative of sine is cos, so we just write down cos 20 pi t. And then we differentiate the angle. So the derivative of 20 pi t with respect to t is 20 pi. We'll just cross off the t. Remember that pi is not a letter, it's not a variable. Pi is a number. Then we have our plus, then v, which is sine 20 pi t with brackets, and then du dx, so we differentiate u, which was 3e to the power of minus 2t. So we bring the power down in front, so minus 2 multiplied by 3 is minus 6, e to the power of minus 2t, so the power stays the same when we're differentiating e. And then we simplify. So 3 times 20 pi is 60 pi. We stick on the e to the power of minus 2t, and then we stick on the cos 20 pi t. Then we bring down the minus 6 e to the power of minus 2t, and we stick on the sine 20 pi t. Next we factorize. Well, 6e to the power of minus 2t will divide into both. So 6 into 60 goes 10 times, and we still have pi. The e to the power of minus 2t we've taken out, so we don't have that anymore. Next we have cos, so we stick on cos 20 pi t. And you can check, is this right, by just multiplying back. 6 by 10 is 60, and pi, to multiply by pi, we just stick on pi. To multiply by e to the power minus 2t, we just stick that on, and then to multiply by cos 20 pi t, we just stick that on again. Then 6 e to the power minus 2t into minus 6 e to the power of minus 2t is minus 1. And then we just stick on the sine 20 pi t. And again, you can check by multiplying out. So 6 e to the power of minus 2t multiplied by minus 1 is minus 6 e to the power of minus 2t. And then we stick on the sine 20 pi t. Okay, so we have differentiated. We found the velocity. It is 6e to the power of minus 2t times 10 pi cos 20 pi t minus 1 sine 20 pi t. Now, remember, we weren't just asked to find the velocity. We were asked to find the velocity of the end of the spring after 2 seconds. So that means we take the derivative and we swap each t for a set of brackets and we put 2 into it. We let t be equal to 2. So we have v, the velocity, equals 6e to the power of minus 2t times 10 pi cos 20 pi times 2 minus sine 20 pi times 2. So straight into the calculator, and 20 times 2 is 40. So that's how we end up with 10 pi cos 40 pi. And 20 times 2 again is 40. So that's how we end up with minus sine 40 pi. Now make sure that your calculators are in rad mode, which means radians, for the next part. So cos 40 pi will give you 1, and sine 40 pi will be 0. So we have 6e to the power of minus 4 And just to note that the minus 4 comes from minus 2 multiplied by t, so I actually forgot to change that t there for brackets with 2 in it. So minus 2 multiplied by 2 gives us minus 4. That's where that minus 4 comes from. So we have 6e to the power of minus 4 times 10 pi times 1 minus 0. So we can just forget about the 0, and 10 pi times 1 is just going to be 10 pi. So we have 6e to the power of minus 4 times 10 pi, which we can rewrite as 60 pi over e to the power of positive 4. So that's just using our indices laws and changing the negative fraction into, or negative indice, or index into a fraction. So we have 60 pi over e to the power of 4 centimeters per second. So this is the velocity at the end of the spring after 2 seconds.